All right. Next question we have. Does Kalen DeBoer settle in at Alabama and return the Tide to the playoffs?
Oh, this is a tough one because Alabama still has a lot going for it. The key thing in my mind for Alabama is how much of the Nick Saban culture is gone. That's really the big question for me when it comes to Alabama. Is Kalen DeBoer a good coach? Sure, he is. I mean, he took Washington to the national title. That's very, very freaking impressive. But being at Alabama, we saw last year the second half of the season just wasn't very friendly to Alabama. They had the loss to Vandy after Georgia. Just a lot of uncharacteristic things that you haven't seen from Alabama. So that will be an area of focus. But I don't think that they're not going to suck. Right?
Absolutely not.
They're still Alabama. They still have a ton of talent. Kalen DeBoer is a good coach. Ty Simpson was a 5-star recruit. He was the number 4 quarterback recruit in the 2022 class, which had Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, Connor Wegman, and then also Gunnar Stockton. But he went away. They've got some talent. Plus, you got Ryan Williams, and he's 18 this year.
Right. You look at Alabama's schedule, right? Coming in previous years, their out-of-conference schedule, you'd be like, oh, no, because they opened the year at Florida State, and then they also have Wisconsin at home. And in years past, those would have been tough games, but, man, both of those teams were really bad last year. So we'll see how that factors in. Their schedule, obviously the SEC side, it flip-flops, so they get Tennessee, who they've struggled with at Knoxville. They've lost the last 2 times up there. They get them back at home. They do travel to Georgia, and I think that is the key to the season, both for Georgia, for their confidence going forward, and for Alabama. A lot hinders on that game in late September. But if Alabama just plays within themselves and they avoid bad upset losses like they did last year, because look at it this way, they almost made the playoffs. They lost to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. Vanderbilt was decent. They made and won a bowl game, but Oklahoma was not very good last year. And they lost those games that they had no business losing. So you flip a couple of those. They lost Tennessee. Well, Tennessee was a playoff team. So if you have the results flip, say maybe they lose that Georgia game on the road, but they get that win back at Tennessee at home, I think they're at least back in the playoffs. I find it very hard to see a way that Alabama is not back in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're absolutely a playoff contender. And this year's going to be a prove-it year for Kalen DeBoer. He's had a year to implement his system, his culture, getting to know the quarterbacks and the rest of the team. So this year will be a very good measuring stick for Alabama moving forward. But I agree. They're definitely in the playoff race, and depending on how Ty Simpson plays, national title contenders.